So just for clarity, the city, we are seeding the parking collections within the city, garbage collection as well, and development control to the city as well.
Okay, so that will push certain revenues to the city.
Yes.
But I believe there should be an overseer, which is the board. But the major responsibility lies with you as the CEO, as far as their accountability is concerned. And I hope that is what is happening.
And of course, oversight by the assembly, because the city ought to present its budgets to the assembly. It's a separate budget, isn't it? Cities and municipalities ideally need to have their own budgets submitted to the assembly. You see, you are the newest city or kid, you are the newest city. So some of these things, we are flying as we build the plane. So we'll be using the Nakuru experience to guide even Eldoret, where we conferred city status.
I will say, Chair, I do not believe that they've previously been submitted to the county assembly, but we'll make sure that that happens.
Yeah, I think let's just look for full compliance with the Urban Areas and Cities Act for the good of the people of Nakuru. Finally, Senator Chirake.
Just, Governor, you mentioned something about old houses and negotiating with the tenants. Are you in any way partnering with the national government to cede some of those lands that had old houses to build at least ultra-modern, so that you have more units and therefore generate more rent, which will improve on your own source revenue? I know it's a dicey situation, but are there plans? Because some of those houses are as older than our cumulative age in this room. So, and I know the senior most, Senator Mofire, is excited because I think he's the oldest in the room.
You also catch up with my age at one time.
Of course, definitely. when I'll be the AU chair, and I'll be sure about it. So what I'm asking, are there partnership with the national government to improve those houses? Let me use that word, to improve on those houses so that you have more units and therefore get more revenue to improve on your own source revenue. Because even if the economy is changing, the population is growing, you cannot rely on parking only on land rates, on sales or any other things that you... Are there any, especially maybe Nakuru town, Naivasha, other major towns within Nakuru County? Thank you, Chair.
Governor?
Chair,
or Senator Mariam.
Mine is on, I can see the measures you took to recover the debts. One of them is you engage debt collector agents, which is African something, which they sign the contracts 10th of March 2021. So is there any positive response on that ground for collection of debts?
Governor?
Thank you, Chair. We have not had... Okay, initially when we came in, we didn't have very tangible results to show from the debt collector. But over time, we actually wanted to terminate the contract and re-advertise it because we felt like we were not getting value for money. However, I can now state that since then, there is better results since we have had a sitting with them and sort of agreed on what needs to be the deliverables. So we are working hard on that. On the Senator Chirake's question, yes, Senator, we have been in talks with the Department of Housing, and what we are trying to do, as you can appreciate, it's a very tricky political issue there, is we have sat with some of the tenants and offered to pay rent for them somewhere when they cede their houses so that we can put up the affordable housing or social housing even, and then give them first priority when it comes to when the houses are complete. So that's one of the discussions we're having, because as you're saying, the houses are very old. We really don't get enough out of them. Some of them actually may not even necessarily be something that you want to have long term. And since they're just built on just the house like a bungalow, we believe we can get a lot more value by putting up the storied apartments in the same areas. So we are working on that. And finally, Chair, allow me to mention that in case you are also able to help us as a Senate, we are also owed quite a lot of money by the NHIF Linda Mama. As a county, we are owed 540 million. So as Senate, maybe you can help us get the money dispersed, at least even half, so that our hospitals are not on their knees. Thank you very much.
Chair, maybe how long has it taken through the chair in Linda Mama program that we have not been paid since 2013?
No, they've been paying a little by little, but you know we also do a lot of deliveries through Linda Mama. So as maybe they pay 2 million, we are owed 40. So it just constantly keeps adding up. And for now, I don't think we've had much payments lately.
So this 500 million plus, how long has it accumulated for how many years?
Senator, it's since the program started, so they are always behind, completely behind.
So it's like if you are paying, if they don't even pay 10% of what you incur as a cost.
No, they don't.
Have you sat with NHIF and through Linda Mama and the Ministry of Health?
Through the chair, we've done a lot of that actually. Through our Chief Officer of Health, of Medical Services, who is here. Coming to Nairobi has become a constant up and down to come and try get a bit of money paid.
Is there any hope through the chair?
I mean, we would hope that it's money that should be paid, and hopefully sooner than later, because as I said, it really puts a strain on our hospitals, especially like right now as we wait to transition to shift. Or it's called shift.
Yes.
You find that many hospitals will, for example, not take Linda Mama anymore because it's not operational, so to speak. But as a county, you can't turn down anyone. So you find we have many mothers who we are helping deliver, but we are really never getting reimbursements. And even with the reimbursement, when they owe us 540, I believe by Chief Officer told me that I think our a regular delivery is about 7,000 shillings.
5,000.
Get a mic.
Get a mic.
Sorry.
So what do you mean by regular delivery? You should say natural or through CS, so that there is that difference.
I think at level 2 and level 3 deliveries, although they will occur at level 3, it is 3,000. And
which type of delivery?
Is a number of deliveries. That means, I wouldn't say natural, where there be no intervention in terms of delivery, no sexual or vacuum extracts of the baby.
Okay. So, but CS, so that is normal is 3,000. What about CS?
CS is 10,000.
It's 10,000.
Yes. The reimburse 7,000.
So it's Governor. That's a very serious issue because through the chair it might, and I think Senate needs to intervene because it might paralyze the operations of the hospital. That's 540 million is a lot of money. If the negotiations are stalling, then you might threaten them with a legal action. Maybe if you threaten to take them to court, especially through the chair, you need to be careful as transition is going to shift, because they might move to shift and forget the pending bills that have been incurred through Linda Mama program. So I think it's a very serious issue that I hope the committee through the chair will note, and we can see how to intervene. And the vice chair of health committee has just worked out, Senator Sheikh Omar. I think Senator Mtata, are you a member through the chair of health committee?
No, I'm not through the chair.
Yeah, so the vice, I think chair, we can know through the vice chair of health, they follow up chair. And the suit of Senator Okia has changed since what rumors have been going around.
Order,
He's going
order.
for top seat.
Order, Vice Chair. Leave Senator Mtata out of that. Senator Mtata, go on record.
Honorable Chair, honorable members of the Senate, and Secretariat, Your Excellency, and my good friend, your delegation. My name is Okiya Mtato Koichi, Senator elected by the people of Busia, and a member of this committee. You are most welcome.
Okay, you're welcome,
And,
Senator.
Senator Gay Pole Sana for the loss of your brother. And we wish you a quick recovery from the morning.
Can you confirm whether you have changed or not?
Done what?
Chaya just thrown some aspersions that you have changed now that the rumor has it that GNZs are going for you for the presidency.
It's not a rumor, it's a fact. So,
Okay, let me steer this meeting back on track because we are losing it. Let's go back to the report of the Auditor General. We are now going to the report of on the county executive for the year ended 30th June 2022. We have dealt with the issues of CRF and ROR, and if there's something we didn't scrutinize, we will take the written responses, but we have directed that adjustments must be made to those statements in this current financial year. In the year ended 30th June 2022, it is a demonstration of a failure on the part of management to cooperate with the Office of the Auditor General during the audit. Half of it can be explained in the form of transition, what we have talked about, where there's lack of seriousness, lack of commitment when you are in an election year. Because we have got 65 issues spread across 22 pages. And out of the 65, only 11 have been addressed as far as the Auditor General is concerned. In terms of materiality, I think PBO had told us how much money has been queried in Nakuru, so that we put that in context.
Thank you, Chair. 9.3 billion was queried by the Auditor General.
9.3 billion.
Yes.
Practically 50% of their budget.
Even more than 50%, Chair.
It's more than 50%.
Yes.
So, Nyandwaki, are you the one who did this audit? You were on the ground. Did the county government appear during your exit meetings, and did they even respond to your management letter? Because this is one of the longest audit reports I've seen. Of course, it's thorough, so I'm not complaining about that. But I would expect that at the management letter level, a lot of these things should have been supported so that Governor Kihika does not come to the Senate with these files. What happened during audit?
I think there's failure to respond to audit issues right from the time during the audit, because when the audit staff are on the ground, they raise these issues, they share with the management through an audit query working paper where they are supposed to respond to act, but they don't act. We had an exit meeting where the management was fully represented. We raised the same issues, but they were never responded to. Even during the draft report,
please, Nyandwaki.
Chair, I was saying that management was fully involved. We raised the audit queries, which they were never responded to adequately. During the exit, we raised the same issues. They were not responded adequately.
You provided them with a copy of the draft report?
A draft report, still they never responded.
There was no response?
Until the final certificate.
And that's why, Governor, these members have to sit here on a Monday going through an exercise which should have been done at the county. Our job is not to be auditors. Our job is just to get an explanation from you on what you are doing to close the gaps that have been identified by the Auditor General. So we have 22 pages and 65 issues to go through. And I want to assure you, we are not going to be the auditors. If the auditors are dissatisfied with a matter, we shall agree with them, unless you can prove that there was some evidence that was given to them. And so our job will just be to pronounce ourselves, because that's how the audit exercise runs. And I want to encourage, Governor, that during your time, we do not go through this. This is painful. This is the wrong use of the time of the Senate, because we'll be going through things like sports kit that was bought and was distributed for free, or saloon and hair cutting equipment that was distributed for free without any basis. Surely, if those things the auditor is not satisfied, our job here is to ask Patricia of the EACC to go after the culprits. It cannot be to introduce evidence at this point in time, because that ought to have been done during the time of the audit. So I will try to be extremely fast and efficient, because we are not doing an audit. We are doing this session for mitigation. What was the opinion in 2022?
Chair, the opinion is adverse.
And again, Governor, this we will not be tired of saying this. There are conditional grants which we will not access with adverse reports. And in 2022-2023, what was your opinion on the executive? Has it improved?
Chair, it has improved to qualified report.
It's a qualified opinion.
Yes.
Okay, so you just hope, because I remember we were together when we were unlocking the revenue allocation problem, and there is that measure on fiscal responsibility, which might come back, and it's I think it was about 2%. And remember that fiscal responsibility is not a one-year assessment. We usually take about 3 or 4 years to see the trend. So if your last 3 years were adverse, it's going to neutralize your qualified opinion in 2022-2023. So these opinions, they translate to real money in the hands of a county. So I hope that your officers take that responsibility seriously. Of course, as we are reporting them to the Institute, that one we are not relenting, but you must also push them to take their responsibility seriously, because they are costing you money. KDSP, which is one of the issues cited here, it has come back, but KDSP has always been a performance-based grant, isn't it? With an adverse opinion, you're not going to get it. Even FLOCA, we are saying FLOCA should take that route, and any other conditional grant, because there's no reason for us to take a loan as a country and send it to a county which has got poor financial controls. So this adverse opinion will come back to bite you. Let's look at it from that perspective. It's not just an accounting problem. So the first basis for adverse opinion was inaccuracies of the financial statements, which we have spent the last 2 hours talking about, errors, and we have said that the people who committed those errors, action must be taken. And perhaps we might want to invoke also the Public Audit Act, where if someone is convicted under the Act, they are barred from holding public office for 10 years. Maybe that would be the real painful consequence. So without getting into the key issue, one of the things that concerned me is that your contingent liabilities have also not been included in the financial statement. Have you addressed this in subsequent years? Under that, under inaccuracies of financial statements, we'll look at your written responses, but we need to understand